Okay, we do our best. We do our best. So that beautiful song by Karen Drucker, by the way, I was looking for an old piece that Anahata and I used to use to open all of our events, because it had to do with the Buddha's wishes. He had four wishes for us, warm wishes, that we may be safe, happy, healthy, and know peace. Those were Buddha's four wishes. And he, in the transmission from Shakyamuni Buddha, he said, first of all, wish it to yourself. Wish it to yourself. So let's look at that again, because my memory is inhibited. May you be safe. So let's think about that for a moment. May you be safe. And say this to yourself. May I be safe. Say this to yourself. And pat yourself on the heart. May I be safe. Okay? Then, may I be happy. So pat yourself on the heart. May I, and say this. Say this out loud so you can hear it. May I be happy. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be healthy. Pat yourself. May I know peace. May I know peace. Now, say it because you actually have it. So, I am safe. Pat yourself in the heart. I am safe. Repeat that. I am safe. I am happy. I am happy. Well, certainly I'm happy to see all these beautiful Taras looking at me. I am happy. I am healthy, doing my best here. I am healthy. Pat yourself on the heart. I know peace. I know peace right in this very moment. I know peace. Now, looking at your screen, I believe we're all on gallery view, so we see all these beautiful Tara faces. And now we're going to wish each other. So I want you to look at each other. We don't really know who's looking at us, but just imagine we're being looked at and you're looking at each other and say, may you be safe, out loud. May you be safe, and hold your hand out. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you know peace. Beautiful. And now you are safe. You are safe. You are happy. You are happy. You are healthy. You are healthy. You know peace. You know peace. Beautiful. Well, I've been wanting to start our event with this for a while, but I just didn't have it together. And now, ta-da! So, what am I going to share with you? First of all, the first thing I want to mention, now I have to go back and find page one. Oh my goodness gracious, what a day. I know it's here. Thank you for your infinite patience. By the way, one of the quotes that I selected was just remember the six perfections, of which patience is one. And think about your life and the situations that demand your patience. You know, there are certain people that in our association, that our patience is just pushed to its max. There are times, every now and then, I will find a situation where I say, I have reached the limit of my patience. Has that ever happened to you? I've reached the limit of, I've just taken as much as I can, and here's the line. Okay. So according to the wonderful teachings that I've been looking at, seeing what is it that I wanted to share with you. I just got a message from the translator. The translator has told me not to talk so fast. Okay, I'll do my best. At any rate, if you think for a moment at whatever situation it is that commands your patience, now be grateful for it. Now think about this particular situation and think, this is how I'm accumulating merit. This is how I'm strengthening my mental capacity. This is what is opening the doors to my awakening, this wonderful opportunity to practice patience. So I just thought I would mention that because we may have all kinds of opportunities tonight to practice that. Stay tuned. Okay. This past week, for almost every day, I was able to attend the Zoom dancing with the 8 a.m. Hawaii group. So that means people from all over joined us. It was wonderful. We always had about 12 to 15 people almost every day. And I truly enjoyed it. And so in this daily connection, I'm always asking not only myself, but anybody who will listen to me, what should I talk about? Here's this wonderful Zoom with these wonderful people. We're having this incredible opportunity to connect. So what should I talk about that's meaningful? That's meaningful. And most of the time, nobody says anything. Most of the time, I'm still pushed back onto my own resources. So I thought, okay, so then what do I want? What do I want? And I realized I want to hear from you. I want to hear from my attendees. And the question that I mentioned to all of those who were dancing with me, so they had a little preparation. The question is, what difference has the Dharma made in your life? So think about that. What difference has the Dharma made in your life? Now, over the course of the next few minutes, I'm just going to talk, but then I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask that question to some of you. So I want to hear, what difference has the Dharma made in your life? So there are three questions that popped up in this as I was going through all my notes and ideas and so forth. The first one, can you stay centered when things are falling apart around you? Now, anyone have that experience of things falling apart around them? No? It's never happened to you? Things. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, this is Dharma, direct results of working with the Dharma. The second one, can you be compassionate and strong when others are hurtful or threatening? Have you ever experienced anybody in your life being hurtful? Has that ever happened to you? People being hurtful? Okay, so can you be compassionate? And then the number three, can you engage in life without a sense of craving, hatred, or delusion? Now, this goes to the heart of the matter, of course, which is, what is delusion? What are we deluded about? And according to these teachings, our delusion is the idea that we are separate and that our actions, our behavior, our speech doesn't matter because it's all about us. Everything is about me, me, me. In that case, that is the greatest source of delusion, and therefore the greatest source of confusion, and therefore the greatest source of aggression, and the greatest source of craving. So, can we engage in life without that? Is it possible? And has the Dharma had anything to do with it? So those are just little jogs, little points that might bring some words to mind. So for some reason, the notes on Neurodharma just kept demanding my attention for this whole month. Every time I walked by my pile, those were the ones that wanted to be explored in a deeper way. And so the notes come mostly from that book of Neurodharma and the quotes. So this one, what is it that we are seeking? Now, this is a really important question. Because according to neurodharma, according to the neurologists, but also according to our own Tibetan Buddhist teachers. The most important thing for us to do is to set our intention and to make the intention as broad as possible, so that when we say the most important thing in Tibetan Buddhism is the Bodhisattva vow, which is I'm going to do my best to manifest awakened mind. The reason I'm doing this is because I know it will benefit all beings. It's not just about me. This story of awakened mind is about everyone, because as I wake up, I become more possible, more capable of waking up the beings around me. And that ripples out just like dropping a stone in the lake. The ripples go out and they end up affecting everything. Everything is touched by that one little movement, that one little thought, that commitment that we make. The Bodhisattva commitment of I will attain enlightenment. Why? For the sake of all beings, because it's really the most precious thing that we can offer in this very interesting situation we find ourselves in, which is called samsara, the wheel of becoming, being born, living, and dying, rolling around this situation, not knowing if there's any way that we can control it, except the Buddha Dharma says, yes, by all means, you can get on top of this funny ball, this funny wheel that's rolling, in fact, and you can make of it a sublime and blissful experience. So we're seeking that out. So here we seek the complete liberation of mind and heart with the highest happiness. So that let's not leave out happiness, and the most sublime peace. So this is what we're looking for when we are engaged in this practice of the Dharma. So then I wrote, let's cultivate a clear-eyed look at the realities of life. So it's not, one of the things that I have been fond of saying as I traveled this path of awakening is the reason that I've come to the conclusions that I have as far as following, understanding the view of Buddhist practice, the interconnectivity, and also the engagement, the method, how to bring about this awakened mind. The reason I've engaged is because it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me when we say clear-eyed look at the realities of life. So I have, as a metaphor, I've often said, well, you know, if someone makes you angry, you can respond. If someone does something, let's rephrase that. If someone does something that really irritates you, that really just pisses you off, if you get angry and lose control, what value is that going to have? What value is that going to have? If you engage in this event as something where you feel victimized and you have to fight against it. I said, that's like picking up a bat and hitting yourself over the head, because you're the one who's experiencing the anger and hatred, not the one who's coming towards you. Who knows what they're experiencing? That's their experience. So this is what I have often said and stand by, is the reason that I engage in these practices and communicate these practices is because they are real to me. They work. And as I engage in this really interesting arrangement that we call life on the planet Earth, I am constantly amazed at how the teachings of the Dharma, the mental state that it provides, or that it has helped me develop over the course of some time, is really the most blessed thing I could even possibly imagine. I could not even imagine. 20 years ago, 40, let's look 40 years ago. 40 years ago was this snot kid who just thought she was right. And very aggressive, very aggressive. You don't believe what I believe. Well, that's really too bad, and et cetera, et cetera. So it took me some time to really look more deeply and to be able to free myself. My mind, the first time I looked at my mind, the first time I did a meditation practice with Lama Tenzin, and he said, "Look at your mind." I cried. I cried because there was so much going on. And it was crazy, and it was going one thing to the other, and it was really very, very unbelievable. And so I told him, said, I can't do this. And he said, "Oh no, this is perfectly natural. This is the state of your mind. That's not an issue." He said, "That's what we have to, this is our material. This is what we're working with. So don't panic." Because I surely had engaged in a sense of complete and utter panic. I thought, forget it, it's not even possible. So this is the journey. This is the journey. So I'm going to just tell you a few stories from my past, and then I'm going to ask you to say a word or two about what difference has the Dharma made in your life. So growing up in an Italian American Catholic family, with the whole patriarchal conditions of my father, um, his message to me was, take care of number one. Take care of number one. Don't worry about anybody else. You just take care of you and your family. And this, uh, and the whole idea of my culture, because we had the television and I went to school, was, what satisfaction can you get? Where's the satisfaction? What do you need to do? What do you need to get? What do you need to have? Which television programs do you get to watch? What music did you get? You know, it was all about me finding pleasure and me avoiding people I didn't like, situations I didn't like. So but by the time, I guess I was around 20, I think it must have been around 21. I had just been living in San Francisco, living quite an interesting life. And I picked up a book called Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. If you have not read this book, highly recommend it. Because, first of all, he demonstrates through his life and his association with all of these very interesting characters in India that the human being is capable of incredible things, incredible things. He showed demonstrations of a mind, an awareness in these different beings, these different yogis, these different people that he connected with, their capability of doing extraordinary things in order to bring benefit to others. Infinite clairvoyance, infinite examples of clairvoyance. But anyway, I was really taken by his stories. And I kept asking, well, but how do we do this? How do we, because he kept saying, this, I am talking about the capacity of the human mind. I'm talking about the ability of the human consciousness to be more than we think it could ever be. And it's not just about these extraordinary beings. The reason they're extraordinary is because of very specific activities. And the thing that struck me was he said, serve, serve. Now, this was the first time I had thought about, instead of serving myself and trying to bring some form of orgasmic wonder to my life, instead, the idea of serving others completely transformed me. It completely transformed my behavior, my everything that I was looking for. It set the stage for all of the other trainings that I received over the course of my life. So that was one story that I thought I would share with you, that where the Dharma made a huge difference. a huge difference. My life became far more interesting when it wasn't just about how to please me, but it was about how to serve. So I think that's the one that I really wanted to share with you. Oh yes, okay, here's the other one. This is every now and then the memory kicks in. So this is when I was with Lama Tenzin, we were in Lahaina before it burned, of course. We were in Lahaina. There was a Dharma center there for a while. And there was a condition. I was part of it wasn't the board of trustees, but I was one of the main workers in the Dharma center. And so I was really, I had a chance to really observe him and everything else that was going on. And at one point, there was a situation where Lama was put in danger, and the whole situation was radical. And I watched him get angry. Now, I was very familiar with anger. That's the way I dealt with a lot of my life, was by being powerfully angry. And so I watched him, but of course, this is the first time I'd ever seen him get angry, but he really got angry. I could just, the way he was holding his body, his face, the way he was talking. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. All of a sudden, it stopped. So that blew my mind. And I said to him, how did you do that? How did you, what I think you did? Did you do that? You stopped your anger completely. You didn't shove it behind you. You didn't pretend that it didn't exist. You simply stopped being angry. How did you do that? And he said, I'll teach you. So that was when I started doing Tibetan practice in earnest. Thank you, Lama Tenzin. Okay, so now time for you to tell us a few things. What's the question? What difference has the Dharma made in your life? Raise your hand if you're willing to talk, otherwise I'll just call on you. Who's willing to talk? Okay. Do you see someone, Noel? I'm blind. Let me put it on. Okay.
Joy? Joy, are you raising your hand?
Yes, it's Joy. Hi, Prema. Long time no see. Wonderful to see you so well again.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spotlight the speaker?
Yeah.
What you started off saying today, Prema, was very dear to my heart. That's one of the things that I've always so much loved about you, because you could laugh in the face of things going wrong. And I'm sure you're not that way all the time, but it's just been a beautiful quality of yours that has helped sustain me through difficult things. So just the Dharma in this particular transmission has been very kind to me. The example that came up for me when you said, what difference has the Dharma made in my life? And also, can I be compassionate when someone else is not? Is a number of years ago, I was severely injured at work, and it's left me with this intense chronic pain. And I never know like how bad it will be or how long it will last. It's definitely more under control than it was before, when it was totally unbearable. But what I realized before that time, that my work in this life was to build compassion as deeply as I could for all of life. But what I didn't realize before that time was it did not include me. And I was viciously attacking myself, berating myself, calling myself stupid. And yet I was trying to be kind to other people. And going through this intense pain, at some point, I got the message that it didn't include me, and that this was my work, having this pain, to bring myself into the compassion circle. And so whenever whenever the pain would start and I had no idea how long it would last, I would comfort myself. But before, I would just like frighten myself and say, oh my God, I can't stand this. I can't stand this. I can't live through this because it was so incredibly frightening. And so that kind of wiped out this critical voice in me that didn't include me. And because it wasn't useful anymore, I just really got it like in a flash that, wow, of how much that distracted me, of how much that took me off course of, the deep meaning of my life of developing compassion. And so that has been a really great learning for me. And coming to the Dharma through you and through this Tara practice has really deepened and deepened and deepened that, especially, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? You know, so that's what I would like to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yep. Yep. This is where the Buddha started, to have compassion for ourselves, that we really need to take care of ourselves, to do everything that we can to be healthy and happy, to recognize that we are protected. Okay, who's next? Wave your hand. All right.
Stephanie Corman had her hand up. So Jacqueline, if you could if we could let Stephanie go, because she's had her hand up for a while. Stephanie, would you unmute and turn your video on?
Yeah.
If you can.
Takes a while. I'm sorry I'm not on camera, but I too, I live with a nerve pain disease that I got from a surgery, and I live with really high pain, and I just have to say that if I wasn't so spiritually motivated to do this dance every day, I would probably be a lot more on the bedbound side of things. It really, I just really feel like it saved me on so many levels. And the physical just being one, but, I also feel like a past life, resonance with this. And my soul is just so happy every day that I'm so grateful to be here. And I don't have a whole lot more to say, but I wanted to speak up.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Yes, it's always lovely to see you. We're so happy to see you coming every day. And I hope that the dance continues to serve you in this uplifting way. Okay, so Jacqueline.
Yes, it totally has changed my life. And it brought me to meet in person His Holiness the Dalai Lama and receive blessings at the airport. Also, and 9/11, when we were over in our Tara pilgrimage, Nepal and India, I didn't know if we were going to be able to come back to our country because of all that. The other thing, recently, my husband collapsed. He stopped breathing. He was in intensive care. And I wasn't expecting anything. I have been a practitioner a long time, and I had parked near the hospital. And when I was leaving, wasn't familiar with the area, and I was looking for my car. All of a sudden, my girlfriend, who's in our Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche Sangha, pulls up in her van. Now, she was in Mexico and supposed to be in Mexico. And she pulled up and said, "Hey, Jacqueline, what's up?" And I said, "I can't find my car." She said she'd help me. And then when I got home, who was there but Lama Tenzin Wango's wife was there. My girlfriend, they said, forget Halloween. It happened on Halloween when he collapsed, was in intensive care and almost died. And there were my Dharma sisters, with the grace of the divine feminine, who were there to help me. It literally saved his life because he's alive. And, just not expecting anything, but just being in shock. And then here is your Sangha for you. And the first time I saw the Tara dance, I'm not sure where, I saw this huge golden goddess up above the dancers. And I said, I don't know what this is, but I want to be involved. And the Tara practice has brought me closer to my main teacher, Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche, who has passed. In the dream state, I still get teachings, and also was able to provide white Torah prayers and practice to help my friend who had breast cancer stay alive for many years. So it's just, you just do it. I wasn't expecting anything, and not only the Sangha, but Torah gave me the strength and something to do to help benefit beings. And it works. And then my doctor was Dr. Dundon. He was at one time staying in the house across the street to where I was living. I mean, it brought these teachers into my life. And then I was able to help organize and sponsor a lot of Tibetan teachers to help other people. So yes, and the Tara dance was a major, major key.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And how's your husband now?
He's here, still his own goofy self.
I'm here. I'm alive and well. Can they see me, honey?
No, get up, sit up a little.
Ah.
Wait, just wave.
Oh, okay, it's okay.
It's
You don't
okay.
Okay, honey. You don't need to make special effort there. We feel. Oh, okay. He's alive and well. Fantastic.
Om Tare.
Indeed.
Okay, thanks, Cindy.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jacqueline. That was amazing. Yes, one of the most important things in our life is our spiritual friends. One of the things that has been most impressive to me as I traveled around for all those 40 years, meeting wonderful Taras from all over the world, was the way we gravitated to each other and developed friendships. And watching this happen with people who were total strangers from different countries, different cultures, it really impressed me. And it was so funny. Just today, I happened to pick up some book that I was reading, and it just said, it's talking about the Kalyan Mitra, the spiritual friends, and how important the spiritual friends are, how important it is to feel supported, especially during times like Jacqueline was describing of falling apart, things falling apart. Thank you very much. Okay, one more. Any more hands that you see, Noelle?
I don't see any more hands raised in the chat. Adrienne. All right, Adrienne.
Hello, everyone. So precious to be together. Oh my gosh, this path of Dharma. I have to start, I guess, with just the intention. Before I found the dances, that's where I first connected with the Dharma, was through the dances with Prema in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was on a path looking for, well, on my journey, looking for a path of love and wisdom, and not able to find it. Pieces here and there are truths in different traditions, but not finding the fullness of what I wanted. And when I first heard that night with Prema, the refuge prayer, and the thought that we would clear away those obscurations of our mind in order to reveal our innate wisdom and compassion, not just for ourselves, but for the benefit of others. Through this dance, I thought, this is it. This is the path. And I've had many, many days since then where I've awakened and felt just heavy, burdened with emotion, or the struggle of life and family, or physical pain, where I didn't want to get up out of bed. And I found myself realizing that I needed to change the intention. And so in moments when I would awaken in the morning and think, oh, do I have to get up today? I immediately would turn it to say, I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. And that would give me the strength to get up and do what I needed to do that day. through the practice of that over and over again, and not just that, but all of the different remedies and teachings and little phrases that we use to refocus the mind, it has helped to really remove a lot of the negativity in my life, and even to repair relationships with people that I thought I would never speak with again. It has helped me to develop a greater capacity to accept what happens in the relationships and in circumstances in my life, and to not be as disturbed by it. And especially, it has helped to dismantle some of the concepts, self concepts that I've had that, or have adopted the habits of, for example, my idea of what it means to be a mom and what that relationship is like with my children. That has been a very difficult one, but it is, I've through the Dharma, I have practiced to take down those delusional ideas or illusions of what those relationships I think are supposed to be, and let them be what they are. So in the course of that, I've experienced more freedom, a greater freedom, and with that, a greater joy in just being, just showing up and being. One of the things I wanted to share about, there's a phrase that's called planting white seeds in some of the mind, taming the mind teachings in the Dharma. And it's the idea of spending the day thinking of what kinds of good things you can do for others, kind of like random acts of kindness. And it was shared with me years ago by someone, and she said one of the things she does when she travels, because she's traveling all the time, is when she walks into a restroom, a public restroom, she thinks immediately of what she can do to leave it in a better place for the person who comes next, which totally changes the mindset. Instead of walking in thinking, oh, how gross is this situation, this space, but to think, I'm going to leave it better for the next person. And so those little tips, those little ideas of how to train the mind to think more positively instead of be in the negative has really impacted my life. And of course, the connection with Tara, the connection with Prema, and this incredible dance has brought women and men into my life that are just unbelievable. It really has been a dream come true for me to connect deeply in this way with all of you, Taras. And I thank you, Prema, for your patience and your continued perseverance in putting this out again and again and again. No words. Om Tare.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. Oh, wow, wonderful. What wonderful reports. It's incredible. Is there someone who absolutely wants to talk? Because we don't have to cut it off here. Any other hands waving? Anything that you see, Noel?
Yes, Kala. Kala, I'm going to put the spotlight on you.
Okay. Aloha. Briefly, I wanted to mention that Lama Anand Thupten did his talk this morning, and it was on the noble friend and noble friendships and how that's such an aid in our enlightenment. And it seemed to be a theme coming through that I wanted to emphasize. And when I did my very first small Tara retreat on Maui, I think it was 2003, a great benefit to me, I remember at that time saying, I was so happy to have met Tara, and that Tara became a noble friend. And that has really benefited me and aided to a lot of trust and faith, and perhaps some of my ability to have more equanimity and to allow causes and conditions to be present, but know that even though I may be caught in that, that it is not who I really am, that who I am is Tara. So mahalo. And I really should remember the dances. I'm getting a new laptop, so maybe a new laptop. I haven't had a laptop for many years, a computer. So I'm hoping to join then and see you there. Mahalo, Prema.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kala. Wow. Yep. I sure have a lot of Kalyan Mitras. I have a lot of spiritual friends. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Okay, let's see now. Let me talk a little bit. And Miri says, sometimes I just don't talk enough about the Dharma. So here we go again. Now this is another quote from our neurologist. He says, the nervous system is always attempting to stabilize our processes and to serve the life of the body. It keeps trying to bring about a pattern that underlies every experience. It produces an ongoing subtle tension. Now, in Buddhism, this is often referred to, the definition they give is suffering, that suffering is all pervasive. But actually, the translation of the Buddha's word is dissatisfaction. And this is a neurological situation. It's not that we are really dissatisfied. It's that there is no point at which life stops. It's constantly emotion. So when we satisfy something, another desire arises. And that's a natural state. So we have to understand we don't want to fight against our experience of life. We want to be able to move with our experience of life, to understand that it is simply the way our neurology is developed, is that we are constantly engaged in the movement. It's just like if you look at water in a lake or a river, there really is no point at which it is still. It looks calm, but underneath the surface, things are moving, or the wind moves it. It's moving. We are constantly in motion. So it's really important to understand that and to know that tendency, because of this, we want to grasp onto things and hold on to them and make them stay with us. It's like we have a good relationship. We want that relationship to always satisfy us. We have a nice car. We want that nice car to always satisfy us. We want our satisfaction to always be, we want consistency. We want constancy, and it doesn't exist. So if we accept the fact that it doesn't exist and simply enjoy the moment as it arises, and then let go when things change, this is what we need to train in. And so the practice, like I said, with the Buddhist practice, there's the view, interconnectivity, and then there's the method. And so I wanted to just talk about so that we can approach the Four Noble Truths in a way that's helpful to us. So the Four Noble Truths, I'm just going to briefly run through them because this was the Buddha's first teaching. He said, look, first of all, there's this general sense of dissatisfaction. So you will often find this interpreted as suffering. So we can just remember that's what we're talking about. There is a general sense of dissatisfaction inherent in living itself. The second thing is, what is the cause of this sense of dissatisfaction? Well, now we know that neurologically we're set up, but also the reason that it gets to uncomfortable levels is because we engage in the three poisons of ignorance, meaning we do not see the interconnectivity of all that exists. that creates circumstances of attachment and aggression. So once we start understanding that, we allow the dance of life to occur with its joys and its blessings, with its challenges and its intent on forcing us to develop patience. So the third noble truth, that's the cause of our dissatisfaction. The third noble truth is to say that there's a way out of this, actually. In fact, there is a way out. And the fourth noble truth is the way out, which is what he calls the Eightfold Noble Path. The Eightfold Noble Path encourages us to engage in our life and all aspects of our life with the understanding of interconnectivity, so that as we engage, and the one that struck me the most was, how do we make our livelihood? What is right livelihood? How do we support ourselves? How do we support ourselves in life? That if it's not done with respect to everyone and everything, if it's only done with respect to ourselves, then it is going to create the conditions of deep suffering. It'll create the conditions of attachment and aversion. So understanding these things, the Eightfold Noble Path, is very helpful. And then, so how do we engage? Okay. Well, we start with our beautiful prayer of motivation. So please repeat after me. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skill and the power to bless and empower all. Then, what else do we need to cultivate? So first we start there. We start with the ultimate motivation of manifesting wisdom and compassion and gathering the skill and the power. I loved your story, Adrienne. Lynn, exactly when it's difficult to wake up, when it's difficult to get out of bed, then we remember, wait a second, no matter what's going on, it's going to feed into this. It's going to stimulate my wisdom. It's going to stimulate my capacity for compassion. And it's going to do that through the 6 perfections. It's going to show me how to be grateful. It's going to show me how to be patient, how to persevere, how to meditate. What do I do with my mind? What do I do with my body? What do I do with this great blessing of life on this insane planet? What am I going to do with this? I'm here to manifest wisdom, compassion, and skill. So, having declared that, then, we also need to consistently and constantly invite and invoke our sources of refuge. But before I talk about that, I wanted to talk about and engage in some practices with you so that you could just remember during the course of your life, as you develop your practice, if you have any time for practice, if you make any time for practice. So what are the methods? What do I feel after looking at this neurologist, looking at my Dharma teachers, looking at all of the ways in which I've engaged myself to develop a state of mind that's at peace? How did this happen? So one of the first things is to really do some focus on your breath. Do some focus on your breath. Now, as I talk, I want you to just engage in paying attention to the breath. You can close your eyes. Don't pay attention to me as far as don't pay attention to my visible, what you see. Just pay attention to what you hear and engage. So as you breathe in, feel that vitality and strength and energy, golden light pours into you. And as you breathe out any difficulties, any challenges, any uncomfortableness. And you do this for a while, okay? I'm going to zippity-doo-dah through this, but I want you to understand these are the elements, okay? Keep your eyes closed. Keep imagining that as you breathe, you're breathing in radiance, you're breathing out tension, you're breathing out discomfort, you're breathing out any negativity, so that there's this constant waking up and letting go, waking up and letting go. Then the next aspect of this cultivation is to recognize the impermanence of all sensory phenomena. So start with hearing right now. Imagine, just see what sound are you hearing? And notice the impermanence in the sound, the way it arises, the way it changes or sustains, and then eventually the way it passes away. There's nothing solid in the sound. So you can explore all of your senses in this way so that eventually you come to thought. Because, okay, we have what we hear, what we see, what we taste, what we smell, what we feel in touch, explore what you feel in touch and how that changes. And then finally, the final sense, what we think. And see how all of this arises and passes away, that it's all temporary. This is the way to become mindful, to see that we can look at the mind, we can look at the sensory experiences of the mind and not freak out about it. Recognize that it is all impermanent, it is arising and passing away. So this is one cultivation, very important. Now, the second one right now is just for a moment to allow yourself to remember something that really bugs you, something that you just pisses you off. And a person, it could be a person, it could be a television thing, it could be a political thing, doesn't matter what it is. But just see, notice on this disturbing issue, whatever thoughts or emotions you have, let them flow. And just continue to breathe and see that you can just let them go. You can just continue to breathe in light and you can just let these disturbing thoughts go. So just spend a moment letting them go, seeing how actually there's nothing solid there. There's nothing solid there, like a cloud arising in the sky and passing away. So this particular, and you can do them anytime. You get a moment when things, if you can't do a formal session, because some people cannot do a formal meditative session or a Dharma session or a dance session, but you've got 24 hours in your day. So surely you can take a few minutes to pay some attention to the mind and how to bring your body into a state of comfort. Then, okay, so we want to be able to relax and we want to be able to let go. And so now, what I'd like it to do, if I can find it. Yeah, okay, so now, same thing, breathing in radiance, breathing out discomfort. Now, put your hands on your heart and think about someone that you really, really love. Could be a child, could be a pet, could be a teacher, a close friend, could be all kinds of people. It doesn't have to just be one, but just allow yourself to really feel the warmth and lovingness of this and to breathe in that warmth, to breathe in that warmth. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed and feel the wonder of loving kindness and feel how kind they are to you and how kind you want to be to them. Now we extend this loving kindness to all the people around us, knowing that everybody really wants to be happy. So we wish for them, we wish them well. We wish that everyone could have this same sense of loving kindness and loving connection that we have with our beloveds. These are important cultivations. They're so simple. They're so simple, but they build up our neurological capacity. They build up our minds so that we can develop more stability and more clarity. So what do Miri has asked me to not take 2 hours too much. But what it wants to do, when we work with Tara, when you work with Tara, there are a few different meditative practices that I really encourage. Now, with your eyes closed, imagine that all your sources of refuge fill the sky and merge with Tara. So she's sitting right in front of you. Now, do your best to take some time to cultivate your capacity to visualize this radiant goddess in front of you. Now, for today, we're going to visualize our beautiful white Tara. White Tara is directly in front of us, legs crossed in lotus posture. See her beautiful radiance. Look at her eyes. See how much she loves you. Her hair, her jewels, her beautiful silks, her hands gesturing, fear not, I am a true source of refuge. I give all that is needed. Do what you can to cultivate the capacity. If you can't see her with your eyes, feel her with your heart, that she's there and she is with you. She's engaged with you. Now just change her to green, Tara. Boom. Now her legs are different, right? Her right leg is extended, her left leg pulled in. Still gesturing, fear not, I am a true source of refuge. Beautiful green, active, and giving us all the strength that we need to engage. So now, feel that you yourself, looking at her, now you yourself manifest as the goddess. You are completely 100% radiant as a beautiful, radiant, loving goddess, Tara. She's still in front of you, this beautiful green goddess right in front of you, and you arise as her. And now with your hands, let's do some gestures together. Wisdom. I have the wisdom of the goddess. Please repeat. I have the wisdom of the goddess. I have the compassion of the goddess. I have the power of the goddess. I offer swift protection. I offer creative wisdom. I have impeccable virtue. My spiritual life is all victorious. I demonstrate sublime intelligence. I am worthy of honor. I have invincible courage. I destroy negative thoughts. I destroy harmful emotions. I am true refuge. I am joy and laughter. I am the distributor of wealth. I have auspicious beauty. I have, what is this? Irresistible truth. Irresistible truth. I am ferocious when I need to be with my compassion. I have serene peace. I destroy attachment. Come on. I destroy attachment. I dance in bliss and joy. I am the transformer of poison. I am the remover of sorrow. I have radiant health. I am complete enlightenment. So I just wanted to point out the great joy there is in us doing this together, the great joy in us doing this together. So let's see if there's anything else here. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So just a couple more quotes. Create opportunities in your life where you feel relaxed, protected, strong, and at ease. Make it a point to take care of yourself. Your mind, like a vast sky, thoughts and feelings pass. When faced with a problem, ask yourself, what is the widest possible view? Okay, so now I want to share something with you that a very dear Dharma sister sent to me from Zinger Control Rinpoche. Very great Lama. We're so lucky that this guy is wandering the planet giving teachings. This is in response to the fires, because all of us are quite aware of the fires that are going on in Southern California. Now, as I read his letter, I will give some commentary because I thought it was so exceptional. This just came in yesterday and I thought I really want to share this. So I'm so glad I have this beautiful, attentive audience to share it with. Here we go. And he says, dear noble Sangha and friends, our heart goes out to all those affected by the devastating fires in Los Angeles. So allow yourself to feel that our heart and our wishes and our prayers go out. But then he says, our heart goes out to all those who suffer from the recent earthquake in Tibet. Now, how many of you knew that there was an earthquake in Tibet? And that in the Shigatse area, more than 130 people were killed. I didn't see a word of it in any of my news things. It was just it's because he wrote about this. And he says, all the various natural disasters, the famine, the war, we are witnessing an immense imbalance in the elements of our planet. We are all deeply interconnected to one another in our planet. When one part of the world is affected, it affects us all to one degree or another. We often feel interconnectedness. We often feel helpless when we are far away from a crisis, but due to our profound interconnectedness, our heartfelt prayers can be a potent way to contribute to a positive and hopeful outcome. So for a moment, think, make a prayer in your heart that the fires be ended and that everyone that has been disturbed find their way, and that the conditions of change be of benefit. Make your own prayer. That was mine. The Buddhist teachings explain how the balance of the external elements in the world is closely related to the balance of elements within the minds of beings. These recent events are a powerful reminder of the need to actively increase our altruism and prayers for the world. An increase in altruism, this reminds me of you, Adrienne, and the white dots. An increase in altruism across the world will bring more balance to the planet's elements and to the world in general. So pray, pray. Prayers allow us, he reminds us, to set our intention and activity, to express our wish for ourselves and others, to have more unbiased, authentic altruism. Instead of wallowing in hopeless lamentation and sadness, Prayer allows us to do something, even if it is just sending our positive thoughts and intentions across the world. This is a powerful energy to put into the world. Do not underestimate the power of your prayers. And then he says, in these times of uncertainty, take refuge. By fervently taking refuge for the benefit of all beings, we contribute to a greater balance throughout the world. So I'm going to ask you all to please repeat after me. Mother Tara, we take refuge in you. We take refuge in all the awakened ones, their teachings, and our precious community. We take refuge in our own compassionate heart. During these challenging times, we send our light and love into the world to bring peaceful conditions for all beings, to balance the elements, to end all war. We dedicate our virtuous thoughts, we dedicate our virtuous actions to the benefit of all beings. Swaha, swaha. So that's what I've prepared for us this evening. If we could please go to gallery view, Noel, so I can see everybody. Are there any questions or comments before we say till the next time? Wave your hand if there's any question or comment. Okay. Well, in that case then, I wish you all well. For those of you who made some kind of donation to Taradatu or me or any of those things, you will get a link if you're interested in sharing this. I'm so grateful. So now 3 Oma Hungs to dedicate the merit. Om. Ah. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Swaha, swaha. Miri, will you please play the 4 immeasurables?
Okay.
We come together to bring heaven to earth. Opening our hearts, we rest in the wisdom of interconnectedness. We are all together in this wonderful adventure of life. We offer each being in this wide and wonderful world love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May this wish increase more and more until it bathes the whole world.
May all beings have happiness and a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause Mayday dwelling, equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all these have happiness and a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from the happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all these have happiness and a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from the happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far.
Bye, everyone. Look forward to seeing you again somewhere along the Dharma Trail. Bye.